A few years ago, I participated in the 3-minute thesis here at La Trobe, and at the end of my presentation, I felt, oh, you're an ace of the stage, Luigi. That's your career. So that's why I decided to come back here and use this extra 2 minutes to boost my career, my acting career. Okay, so take it as an audition. Let's now go to the topic of my research, which is actually a collaborative effort that we are doing with a research group at the early stages, honestly, at Monash University, but I would like to involve other people. And the title is The History and Misadventures of, not to be read, of Luigi Gussago. I'm not the object of my own research, but the object is hiding in the picture. The picture was taken in a dilapidated warehouse in the Marghera fortress near Venice, and it shows this window pane that has become a kind of a whiteboard where someone put a message. And the means of communication, the medium of communication is that simple thing called dust. All of us has an experience about dust. So the title, the title is The History and Misadventures of Dust. Inspired a little bit by Tobias Smollett, The History and Adventures of an Atom. It's a little bit less ambitious though, but anyway, that's fine. I wish I could ask each of you what experience you have about dust. I think people have traumatic experiences. Some people don't even bother. You can find dust everywhere in the streets, on your books, on your forgotten plans, on your pleasant, unpleasant memories. And it's something that comes up every day in our lives. But let's look at some association we might make with dust. For example, the spiritual aspects. The famous formula in the Bible, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. So dust is the beginning and the end of everything. And if you look at the scientific theory, the Big Bang theories, it's sort of confirmed that we all come from a sort of cosmic dust. If we look at the literary aspects of dust, think, for example, of A Handful of Dust, a novel by Evelyn Waugh. It's a satire on the immobility of the middle class, which is compared, of course, to dust. And also another line from T.S. Eliot, I will show you fear in a handful of dust. Very mysterious. I still don't understand what it means, but it looks good to quote it. And so lots of associations are possible with the idea of dust. If we think, for example, of another recent book, which is, of course, called Dust, A History of the Small and the Invisible, dust for many centuries has been considered as the smallest visible object human beings could see. And dust became a sort of gateway into the discovery of the invisible, of the microscopic, of the microcosm, which somehow obsesses us a lot in terms of germs and all kinds of pollutants. So in the recent, after the Industrial Revolution, dust has become more of a human-made affair rather than a natural phenomenon. If you think, for example, of the notorious PM 2.5 or PM 10, which involves lots of cities, or think of radioactive dusts, for example. Or even Rome, take Rome. Rome has the highest concentration of cannabis, cocaine, and caffeine in its dust. So dust can tell us a lot about our lifestyle as well. One good thing about dust is that dust prevents the increase of temperature in the in the ice cap of glaciers. It's not a good excuse to promote it, but at least there's one little thing I found good about dust. So to conclude my presentation of the research, dust. Our group wants to explore the idea of dust and the possible associations in order to understand what dust means for our past, our present, and our future. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.